Assalamu alaikum students. This is Ahmed Hussain from English department of SMB QAPS Public School Higher Secondary section. So my students, today we are going to discuss a lesson that is unit number 3 of our textbook. Its name is professions. So generally this lesson is divided into 2 parts. First is teaching and other is fishing. And you can observe from its name that the 2 professions are described in this lesson. First one is teaching while other is fishing. So we'll start with the first section, that is the teaching. So my students, before proceeding forward, I want to give an overview of this section that the writer has tried to elaborate. First of all, he has tried to introduce the field of teaching, who is a teacher, and he has also described its role, that what is the role of a teacher in the society, and also the status of a teacher. Furthermore, he has described the qualities of teacher in detail. So we'll read all these things step by step. So let's start reading. First of all, here it has been mentioned that one Sindhi word for teacher is ahun. So here he has started this elaboration by describing the Sindhi word ahun, which means a teacher. It comes from a Persian word khandan, which means to read. So here the writer has described its root word, that it is extracted out from the Persian word khandan, which means to read. And furthermore he says, it is said that God writes his law on the hearts of man, and a teacher is the one who can read what he writes on the human heart. Here my students, you can observe the possessive pronoun his and also personal pronoun he, which is started with the capital letter H. According to the grammar, it is a grammatical rule that whenever we refer the possessive pronoun with the name of Allah and with the name of our Almighty Creator, Almighty, so in that sense, always the pronoun is started with the H capital. Either it is at the start of the sentence or at the middle and anywhere in the sentence. So furthermore, this message is the reflection of God's word found in the sacred writings, as well as enshrined in the work of creation, all of which came from the divine command. So initially he has described the term teacher, and so he has also given some details about it. Later on, in the second paragraph, you can also observe here in this second paragraph that the role of teacher is described in detail. Like the writer says, hence, a teacher is a reader per excellence, one who fulfills God's command expressed in the first word of the revelation, wahi, which says read. Here the example of the word of revelation is used, which means a wahi. Obviously this is the process of Allah's divine message which was revealed on the Holy Prophet gradually in a certain time period. So then this in this process, the first message and the first divine message was that to read. No doubt, it has also mentioned in the Quran that Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So it was Iqra. Iqra was the first revealed verse of the Quran, and in this verse we are instructed to read. So you can also observe the intensity and the importance of this profession as well. So furthermore, here he describes the role that teacher is one who knows how to read God's words, be it written on the human heart or the holy book or in the nature. Hence our own language possesses a word, ahun, which is the best expression of teacher's status and dignity. So as the students, as I right now mentioned about the role of teacher, here the writer has tried to explain that a teacher is a one who, through his observations, through his experiences, try to analyze each and everything and deliver it in an ethical manner. So this is the role of teacher, and then that's why the writer has also mentioned here that it is one of the best expression of teachers' status and dignity. So later on, in a third paragraph of our first section, the writer says, such a high position requires that teachers strive to be more and more worthy of it. This, a teacher does it by cultivating several personal and professional qualities. This explains why people in the East have always had a very high regard for teachers, revering them as holy. So my students, here in this paragraph, the status of teacher has been clearly defined by the writer, that the teacher is, the profession of teaching is perceived as one of the noble profession, not only in our society but also everywhere. And he has quoted the example of West, the people of East, like where we are living, particularly in the subcontinent and so on. So here the teacher is perceived as one of the noble profession. Teaching is perceived as one of the noble profession, and that's why it is having much status in our society. Later on, now in the subsequent paragraphs of this lesson, there are the three remaining subsequent paragraphs of this section, teaching, where the writer has demonstrated the qualities, explained the qualities of a teacher in detail. So in this paragraph, where we are going to discuss it, in this paragraph, the qualities of teacher, and particularly which sort of quality? The sense of love for teaching profession. I repeat, the sense of love for teaching profession and his appreciation for his own profession has been elaborated, has been described by the writer. That's why he says, the first and the most important quality of the teacher is that he or she loves and appreciates the profession. As I mentioned right now, that his love for his profession and his appreciation for his profession is one of the most foremost and important quality of a teacher. That's why he says, he must prefer the welfare and the progress of students and keep their interest in the first place. No doubt, through this quality, that quality that is inculcated in any professional teacher, his first priority will be the welfare of the students. He tries to make the work of students easier in a way that will let them to understand and comprehend the lectures that they are going to taught them, that they are going to teach them. Furthermore, he or she has an awe and respect for the human beings he or she deals with, since God's law is inscribed upon their hearts. Furthermore, the writer says, the teacher speak of the wonders of the nature with reverence, since they have come into being by divine decree. They ponder over the secret writings which tell us the meaning of the life and the way to live it fully. No other work could please them better. So, not only here the teacher tries to make work easier for the students, but also he analyze, he observe on the natural things, on the nature, and also on the scriptures, the divine scriptures that are available everywhere, that are everywhere in our society. He observe and analyze all these scriptures as mentioned by the writer here, and then after considering all these scriptures, he tries to explain the truth. He tries to explain the beauty that is the part of those scriptures, and let these elements understand and make comprehended by his students and by his followers as well. So later on, this was the first quality described by the writer in this paragraph. Now, in this subsequent paragraph, another important quality of the teacher is going to be discussed. That is the thirst for knowledge. That he has always the thirst for knowledge. That's why writer says that another necessary quality of a good teacher is thirst for knowledge. Before teaching others to read, they must themselves know how to read. So it means this quality make the teacher let him to read, to prepare whatever he is going to teach before his that he considers it as his homework before going to teach any topic which he is going to deliver his students. That's why the writer says that best teachers are always those who remain students forever. So it means he has the tendency to feel himself like a student and always try to have a grasp on his topics, tries to have a masters on his subject as well. They are humble enough to learn from any and everyone, even those younger or less gifted than themselves. So they do not feel shy to learn from anywhere, any source, either they are their students as well. This is why they drink deeply from the sources of the truth, beauty and goodness. This sentence has clearly depicted the picture of that sense that I have right now mentioned and elaborated. Later on, that is the last paragraph of this section teaching, in which the third quality of teacher is going to be discussed. And here the writer says, a very important quality of a teacher is that he or she not only strives to know what is true, good and beautiful, but also seeks to incorporate these in the life. So which third quality is enshrined in this passage? That he practices whatever he preaches. He practices whatever he preaches. So first of all, he has the urge, he has the tendency to prepare his lectures, he prepare his topics, his subjects, whatever he is going to teach. Second, he always has a thirst of the knowledge. And third thing is that not only he is fond of getting knowledge, but also he tries to incorporate it in his personal life. He practices whatever instructed and what is good and what is the true and what is he tries to resist the wrong deeds, he tries to practice on the good deeds, so and so on. That's why the writer has clearly elaborated that a very important quality of a teacher is that he or she not only strives to know what is true, good and beautiful, but also seeks to incorporate these in the life. Furthermore, ultimately he says, they practice what they preach after the examples of the Prophet of God, who taught by the words in the Holy Book as well as by his deeds in everyday life. So here the example of the Almighty has been clearly depicted in this passage, that he always follow and act upon the laws of the divine laws of Almighty, and also he follows the instruction that are mentioned in the Holy Book, that is the Holy Quran. So he follows all these, he not only tries to tries to read and tries to get the knowledge from these sources, but also he tries to practice on it for making his life beautiful, and also tries to make others' life beautiful, and ultimately the consequences will be the betterment and the progress of the society. So my students, this was all about this lesson, and this was the first video lecture of this lesson, and inshallah in the upcoming video lecture 2, that will be the part 2 of this video lecture of this lesson, professions, we'll discuss the second section, that is fishing, and in a similar fashion as I have delivered you all these basic elements and regarding their reading and some sort of new words that are going to be the part of your vocabulary bank. You will discuss these, you have to go through these new words in your vocabulary and analysis of the sentences as well. So my students, this was all about this first section, and hope in the second video lecture will completely discuss and comprehend this lesson. Thank you so much.